Okay, so stare at the options for a moment. Did you choose the right answer? Because there is indeed a right answer. So you've probably seen these memes on social media highlighting 3 to 4 financial metrics and asking which you would choose, usually between some large amount of money today, some smaller amount of money in perpetuity, which just means forever, and then some other financial metric like a credit score. So let's look at the options and determine why there really is only one correct answer. So for many people, they might be inclined to choose the 4K weekly, thinking that it builds to more money over time than the $2 million referenced. But this ignores compound interest and the time value of money. We always come back to compound interest on our channel because it's one of the most proven ways to build wealth over generations and can be done with even small amounts of cash. So if you choose the $2 million up front, what I'm showing on this graph is the growth of that money over time if you invest it in a diversified stock portfolio compared to the growth of the 4K weekly. Over the life of the stock market, it has returned around 10% per year for investors. And so that's what we're showing here on this top blue line, what you would get if you took that $2 million and invested it in a diversified stock portfolio that returned 10% yearly, which over 20 years amounts to about $13.5 million, significantly more than the amount that you would now have if you had just taken the 4K weekly, which is a little over $4 million. But even if you assume a much smaller yearly return rate, so let's say 5%, which is the green line that you see here, over that 20-year period, you still do significantly better than the 4K weekly. And again, you could get 5% by a portfolio that is mostly bonds and or even a money market account. In almost every scenario that I've seen with one of these games online, because I like to play out the math, you always do better with choosing the lump sum. That's how powerful compound interest is. And I'll briefly address the credit score piece of this. So credit score is like one of those things where you need to hit a certain threshold, but you don't necessarily need to keep climbing. So 680 is a really good bar for trying to achieve that's going to give you access to most things and usually at good terms. You really want the absolute best terms between 720 and 740 is where you want to be. Beyond that, it really doesn't get you that much more. It's a bit for vanity at that point. And in real life, going from great to excellent, so let's say from 740 to 850, can be a really difficult task in a lot of the credit scoring algorithms. And for some, it might just mean more time building credit, which isn't really in your control. So for many, the juice just wouldn't be worth the squeeze. And if you have access to enough cash, you don't really need credit. So I would always go for the extra cash. Tell us in the comments which one you would choose and why.